Welcome to the John Adams. My name is Tracy Metz. And welcome to our guest of honor this evening, Niall Ferguson, and to our moderator, Wouter van Noort.
You argue that this pandemic has essentially shown that we, as a society, have grown less apt in handling disaster.
As we've grown more sophisticated, we've also grown more numerous and more interconnected. And that has in fact increased our vulnerability to all kinds of contagion.
What should have been done, in your view, and what countries maybe did a better job from which we can learn?
I think the broad lesson I would offer all Western governments, including the Dutch government, is to look at the ways in which the public health response in South Korea and Taiwan was superior, because we'll certainly face another pandemic again.
The Global Health Security Index 2019 listed the US and the UK as most prepared. Were the wrong questions asked? Were the indicators skewed towards the priorities of high-income countries?
On paper, the United States had a detailed pandemic preparedness plan. Multiple agencies were involved. There were indeed multiple plans. The problem was not, I think, that the assessment was skewed in favor of rich countries. I think it was skewed in favor of bureaucracy, rather than in favor of what I'll call the practiced approach. Ultimately, if you have a plan but you've never tried it out, or you've had just one simulation, the chances of the plan working are very small indeed.
How do we get policymakers to think more long-term?
The problem is that the democratic system does not incentivize long-term thinking.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we have a fundamental systemic problem, which is that we are reluctant to elect the kind of people who can persuade us to make early sacrifices to avoid much larger ones later.
So let's get that crystal ball out and maybe run us by a couple of the disasters that you see coming and maybe what we can do about them or in order to be better prepared for them.
It's very tempting to retreat into a kind of powerlessness. I think fatalism is the wrong response. Actually, I think we can do much, much better in the way that we deal with emergencies, but we as citizens need to demand more of those who are providing public services. We need to be indignant about how badly things have been done in the last 18 months.